President Donald Trump says he wants to take over Gaza. Why? Today is Thursday, February 6th. From Ave Maria Radio, this is Michigan Mornings. Good morning from Ishpeming. I'm Matthew Handley. Today is the memorial of St. Paul Miki and his companions. Let's begin with this news. The Michigan Catholic Conference has released its 2025-2026 public policy principles in a document titled A Blueprint for the Common Good. Among the priorities is upholding the dignity of human life by defending the unborn from abortion and the sick and elderly from physician-assisted suicide, reimbursement for private schools for state-mandated non-instructional services, tax policies that support marriage, families, and low-income residents, and promoting access to state identification cards and driver's licenses for immigrants and refugees. Every few years, the Michigan Catholic Conference publishes its priorities as lawmakers enter new legislative sessions, and all 7 of the state's bishops are on the board of directors. Across the Detroit River now, where the mayor of Windsor, Ontario, is planning to veto the city council's support of the Windsor-Detroit Tunnel bus over the now paused 25% tariff on Canadian imports to the U.S. Drew Dilkins says Windsor receives, quote, almost no benefit in return, end quote, for their support of the tunnel bus, and asks why they would want to subsidize economic development in the U.S. The bus operates every day through downtown Detroit from the Windsor International Transit Terminal in Canada. Dilkins says he will also end Windsor's partnership of the Detroit Grand Prix if the tariffs are implemented. If you're an influencer, there may be a new job for you with the city of Detroit. They are looking for social media influencers to support city projects and increase awareness of their campaigns. Influencers would have a 3-year contract with a goal of identifying ways to engage with diverse and underserved communities to increase awareness of the city's initiatives by 25%. A spokesperson for the mayor's office says the city's media services will be able to evaluate if strategies used by private companies can be used to help connect with Detroiters. Ranked choice voting may be on the ballot in 2026 here in Michigan. Rank MI Vote is trying to collect signatures to put the proposal on the ballot to amend Michigan's constitution. Ranked choice voting allows for voters to select candidates in order of preference, and as their preferred candidate is eliminated during vote tallying, that person's vote would move to his or her next choice. And the U.S. Customs and Border Protection says a rare insect was intercepted at Detroit Metro Airport. Only the 3rd time in U.S. history this species of insect has been found. Officials say the spore-spreading seed bugs were found on cypress cones that a passenger was planning to use for medicinal purposes. The bugs feed on conifer species and spread spores as they move around, making them invasive in the United States. This is Michigan Mornings.
Teresa Tomeo.
Every time I go to Mass and see my husband serving on the altar as a deacon, it hits me how, with God, all things are possible. I mean, there is no way that we should be still married, number one, based on all the problems we had. But number two, the fact that I'm in Catholic media and my husband is a deacon is simply a testimony to the power of God and the teachings of the church that saved our marriage and, more importantly, our souls.
Catholic Connection with Teresa Tomeo is coming up at 8 a.m. We have a winter weather advisory in effect until 9 a.m. this morning, and that has to do with the wintry mix we saw last night. Road conditions are slick, so be careful when you drive. We'll have mostly cloudy skies in Detroit today and a high of 37. Tonight will be partly cloudy and a low of 20. Friday, we're looking at mostly sunny skies and a high of 28. Saturday will be cloudy with some snow in the afternoon, a high of 29. And Sunday is going to be partly cloudy with a high of 31. We have some slick conditions in Saginaw this morning, so be careful on your commute. That comes after the little less than half of an inch of snow last night. Today we'll have cloudy skies and a high of 34. Tonight will be partly cloudy and we'll have a low of 16. Tomorrow, expect mostly sunny skies and a high of 26. On Saturday, the snow returns and it will be heavy at times. Our high then will be 26. And Sunday will be partly sunny with a high of 28. Welcome back to Michigan Mornings. I'm Matthew Handley. President Donald Trump apparently sees some opportunity for American interests in Gaza at this moment. He suggested on Tuesday evening that the U.S. should take over the Gaza Strip. Joe Trusman, senior research analyst and editor of the Foundation for Defense of Democracy's Long War Journal, discussed why President Trump might think this with Dr. Marcus Peter on Ave Maria in the afternoon.
I suspect, and it's still early, all right? We just found out about this yesterday, but it's still early. I suspect President Trump is doing a type of negotiating tactic here. I think he's trying to compel other actors in the region, specifically Egypt and Jordan, for example, to do more about the issue in Gaza. Because we have to remember there have been plenty of times where the United States, along with other allies, including Israel, have tried to bring peace to the region, only for Hamas to thwart it. So I think what we're seeing here is Hamas is the obstacle to peace. So, and President Trump has said it, that he wants Hamas not to govern the Gaza Strip anymore. So I think this is what he's trying to do here. However, it's still early, all right? That's the important thing. But very surprising nonetheless, what he brought up yesterday.
Yep. And just to be very fair, when I read this yesterday, that's exactly where my mind went to as well. I figured, and again, you and I are just speculating because there's been very little by way of concrete information coming from the administration about this. So for all of our listeners, we are just reasoning out what could possibly be happening. Now, that being said as a caveat, if it is a negotiating tactic, it would be consistent with the fact that for a long time now, Trump has been, but I mean, even other global players have been calling Egypt and Jordan to take some level of responsibility in bringing a cessation to the conflict because they have interest in peace in the region for their own flourishing. But they've worked very hard to make sure that they're completely hands-off, and ultimately the entire region is going to suffer if these more affluent and more peaceable nations don't provide some level of assistance.
Ave Maria in the afternoon is coming up later today at 4 o'clock. Gaudium at Spes says, just as it proceeds from man, so human activity is ordered towards man. For when a man works, he not only alters things and society, he develops himself as well. I'm Matthew Handley. That does it for this edition of Michigan Mornings. Lord willing, I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Until then, goodbye.